As busy as the first couple of weeks of the semester will be for you, just think what it's going to be like for your Zs. Not only do they have to get acclimated to classes, they've got to continue getting used to their roommates, learn Princeton acronyms, navigate campus, and figure out the social scene for themselves. It all takes time and a lot of energy. And before you and your Zs know it, it's the week before midterms. We'd like to avoid that harsh reality check if possible, so we've dedicated one video to the first weeks of classes, from the start of school through midterms, to provide you with some tips and training on how best to help your Zs. We're going to cover 3 areas: academics, the social side of university life, and your one-on-one conversations. The transition from high school to college is really hard, in large part because the expectations are so different, and it's up to you to figure that out. A good way to describe the transition is that college is not grade 13. Long, long ago in a kingdom far away when you were in high school, your days were likely fairly regimented. Laid out for you by your class schedule, and your schoolwork for that night was largely dictated to you by your teachers. You did the study, but were often told what to study with handy study guides. On top of that, you got feedback on your homework assignments fairly regularly, with frequent testing, so you had a good sense throughout the semester of how you were doing in your classes. And you had teachers, folks who actually spent time learning how to teach and focused on teaching. You were, in a way, an academic dependent, largely needing others for your instruction and development. That's all gone in college. In a few short months, you've become an academic independent. Now it's up to you to learn the material, manage your time and schedules, and to do so with relatively infrequent feedback on how you're doing. This can be a scary and uncertain time for your Zs, just as it was no doubt for you. A good number of first-year students are going to struggle to adapt to this new academic environment, so keep these 4 things in mind to help your Zs with the transition. Asking for help is hard. It can be seen as a sign of weakness, so try as best as you can to persuade your Zs that asking for help is actually a sign of courage. And this brings us to our next point. There are a gazillion of resources available to your Zs. First and foremost, they've got you and the PAAs. There's also the academic advisors, director of studies, and deans, along with the Writing Center and McGraw Center, and let's not forget the preceptors and professors. If there's one skill it would be great to have your Zs start developing right away, it's time management. All too frequently, we see students not use their time effectively, such that they're studying inefficiently, not getting enough sleep, and thus creating more stress for themselves. You may want to encourage your Zs to make an appointment at the McGraw Center, or even have a McGraw Center consultant over for a study break to discuss time management skills. You might benefit from that as well. It's remarkable that so many students think that they're the only ones struggling on campus, and your Zs are probably going to idolize you a bit initially and think that you've totally got your act together. Sharing your own vulnerabilities and disappointments has the potential to provide a lot of comfort to your Zs and show them that everyone has struggles. So please remember that your Zs want to hear not only about all the things that have gone your way at Princeton, but also the times when things didn't go so well. There's so much we could cover here, but with the limited time, let's just touch on a couple of items. We highly recommend, and your DSL may even require, a roommate contract. We all know that these contracts don't come with any disciplinary consequences, but they do serve as a great way to get roommates talking and anticipating possible conflicts, even if they don't think they need it. You should make sure to collect the contracts to see if they are fair to everyone in the room, and if you spot any issues, feel free to ask the roommates to redo the contract. And don't forget to have your Zs revisit the contract a couple of weeks into school. These first couple of weeks are crucial to the development of a healthy and vibrant C group. Please make sure to establish weekly study breaks right away. As you read in the RCA manual, study breaks are an essential means for your group to interact and share stories, as well as to build trust and have a sense of belonging. It's also a great way for you not only to interact with your Zs, but to observe how your Zs are interacting with each other. Make it a point to plan a Z outing or two. Perhaps there's a Z who plays a fall sport and you can all go support that Z at a game. Take your Zs to the climbing wall or a cultural outing. You could even get crazy and cross the Rubicon of Nassau Street to take them out for ice cream or bubble tea. Clash of the Colleges was fun for most, and hopefully your Zs are beginning to form an allegiance to your college. As you know, each college has a bazillion really cool events and activities throughout the semester. You should make it a point to encourage your Zs to attend both with you and to go on their own. And while the college staff is working really hard during orientation to spread the word about how they help new students, Oftentimes, your referral to the DOS or DSL will be what makes the difference for getting your Zs to come into the office with a question or concern. We've got some great cultural and identity centers on campus. There are clubs galore, there are cultural and fun activities, there are talks, open houses, sports events, and yes, there's the street. Your Zs may not want to do anything or too much. Whatever the case, try to get your Zs to plug in somewhere. Part of fitting in is trying new things. It may take some time, but your Z's exploration of campus will land them somewhere with some other students that share their interests. The more involved students are on campus, the more likely they are to enjoy their college experience. You are required to schedule and hold a one-on-one meeting with each of your first-year Zs. Sometimes scheduling can be the trickiest part, so talk with your DSL and core group about what ways are best to set up these meetings. You should also consider a lot of different environments for the one-on-one meeting. The dining hall and Frist are obvious choices, but consider picking up coffee or tea and taking your Z to your favorite spot on campus. The goals of these conversations are to get to know each Z on a deeper, more personal level. Help your Z feel comfortable, especially if the study breaks and large group interactions are more intimidating than the one-on-one conversations. Establish trust and help your Z get to know you as well. Having an established line of communication now will help if issues arise later and your Z needs someone to talk to. Learn about your Z's goals and concerns in order to help you connect them to appropriate resources as necessary. Having the one-on-one conversation allows you to get a baseline idea of your Z's hopes and goals, but also their fears and anxieties. Listen carefully to your Z and the clues you get from them about what is most on their mind, what they are most looking forward to, and what they may be most apprehensive about. We respect that you have your own life with plenty of commitments, many of which will require you to be away from your zone. But please remember that in the beginning of the year, it is especially important for you to be around and as accessible as possible. Not only will being present help you establish yourself as a reliable resource, it will also help you identify your Z's patterns and moods. Over time, it should almost become instinctual for you to know whether your Z's are having a good day or bad day. Hopefully this will never happen, but some of your Z's may encounter feelings of depression and anxiety over the upcoming year. If you know your Z's and their patterns well, you'll learn to sense the shift in mood and hopefully take action. So listen to your instincts, those small warning flags that go up when interacting with your Z's, and don't hesitate to consult with your core group and DSL as needed. Before we move on to our next module, we want to remind you to be especially attentive to your Z's as we head into midterms. Do what you can to encourage good study habits, which includes getting enough sleep, eating right, and even exercising. Establishing good habits now will carry them through times of stress here at Princeton and life beyond the orange bubble.
The school day's over. Come on then, John. Time to be getting your pit boots on. On with the sark and moleskin trousers. Time you were on your way.